Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, no matter what is going on, this moment, this Shabbat is beautiful.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Take a deep breath. There are reasons for hallelujah. Page 14.
Hallelujah, El Bikocho. Hallelujah, Birkia Uzo. Hallelujah, Bigvurotav. Hallelujah, Kerov Gudlo. Hallelujah, Beteka Shofar. Hallelujah, Beneivel Vechinor. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, betof machol. Hallelujah, beminim beugam. Hallelujah, betzil tzelei shama. Hallelujah, betzil tzelei trua kol hanshama tehallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah,
This week may lay heavily on you. This is a moment to give ourselves a chance again to breathe deeply, to let the heaviness of the week, if it has been for you, to lift. We'll take a few quiet moments to breathe, to release the anxieties and worries of this week, the troubles of the week. It is essential to be able to experience joy and gratitude in this moment. So we take a few moments of quiet. When the music brings us back, we invite you to go to the back to light Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav betzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
On your way to lighting candles or on your way back from lighting candles, we invite everyone to find someone to introduce yourself to wish someone Shabbat Shalom. Those are the words of Lecha Dodi, come my friend. So we invite you to find someone and wish someone close Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, and this one, Shabbat Shalom. This is my first Shabbat Shalom for the newest.
Nathaniel, what's happening, buddy? Where you been all my life? Where you been all my life?
Oh, hi. I might be reaching you. I might be reaching out to you. Please do, for Frankie, please. Okay. Yeah. I was wondering if you got in contact with Sam. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, that's hilarious. Since we last... Hi. Say hello to this. Are we hugging?
Page 10, Lacha Joji, come my friend. We welcome Shabbat.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה שמור וזכור מדיבורך השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושם ולתפארת פניתי לה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה בראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה.
We have brought in Shabbat joy. There is more joy now in the world than there was half an hour ago. Please remain standing for the Chatzi Kaddish, page 15.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ילמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירה ויאמרו Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai
Please turn to page 17. We read together in the margin. Praise me, says God, and I will know that you love me. Curse me, says God, and I will know that you love me. Praise me or curse me, and I will know that you love me. Sing out my graces, says God. Raise your fist against me and revile, says God. Sing out graces or revile. Reviling is also a kind of praise, says God. But if you sit fenced off in your apathy, says God, if you sit entrenched in, I don't give a hang, says God. If you look at the stars and yawn, if you see suffering and don't cry out, if you don't praise and you don't revile, then I created you in vain, says God.
כי הם חיינו יורך ימינו והם נגע יומם בלילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שכבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבעליך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Please be seated. And for those who have little ones here, and many of us have had children or grandchildren who've learned to walk or crawl or dance in these spaces. These are very conducive to all the above. Page 21, you know the line. When Pharaoh asked Moses, who's going? Moses said, with our young and with our old. Bin arenu uviskenenu nelech. It's for all of us. This road to freedom needs all of us. Along the way, there are also people who are very hungry. So on your way out, there are bags of food. Please don't leave any bags. Take one, take two, find someone. We all know someone who would appreciate receiving a bag of food. Someone who works with you or for you, a friend or a neighbor. Next to the bags, there are also other boxes filled with fresh lettuce. And we're now partnering with the Synagogue in Briarcliff with their garden. So please also take fresh lettuce. They're not in the bags because we don't want the lettuce to wilt. They're now in bags. Wow, magic. So there you go. The Road to Freedom, Mi Chamocha, page 21.
אדוני את יעקב, ויעלום יד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גל ישראל.
In the middle of winter, many years ago, my mom was shopping with her two little kids in a department store. And the woman leaned over the counter and said to one of the kids, "And so what are you getting for Christmas?" And the little girl said, "I don't celebrate Christmas. I celebrate Shabbat." She got it. Shabbat is the sign of the covenant. Page 22.
לדורותם בריתו אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת שבת וינפש.
Hoping for clarity, for serenity, like those notes. We stand together for the Amidah, page 23.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Adonai sefatayi tiftach ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imaot, U'mevii Geula livnei bneihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד. מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מחמית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל.
Now Korah, son of Kahat, son of Levi, took it upon himself to rise up against Moses, along with 250 others. This week's portion opens with the most infamous of rebellions against Moses, a rabble-rouser and power-hungry individuals stirring up the people into a frenzy to return to Egypt, to the conditions from which they had finally been freed. We are shuddering this week as the dangerous minority is also rising up against American democracy. I don't know about you, but for me, one of the challenges of this week has been the huge parallel track on which I find myself living. On one hand, I have shelter, I have food, I have relative calm and safety. The world is beautiful around us. But the wider world is in trouble. How do we navigate this radical disconnect? Psychologist Mary Pfeiffer writes, "Of course I'm leading a double life. Underneath my ordinary good life, I'm in despair for the world. Some days the news is such that I need all my inner strength to avoid exhaustion, anxiety, and depression. I rarely discuss this despair. My friends don't either. We all feel the same. We don't know what to say that is positive, so we keep our conversations to our gardens, our families, books and movies, and our work on local projects. We don't want to make one another feel hopeless and helpless." Many of us feel we are walking through sludge. This strange inertia comes from the continuing pandemic, a world at war, and the mass shootings of shoppers, worshipers, and school children. In addition, our country and planet are rapidly changing in ways that are profoundly disturbing. We live in a time of groundlessness when we can reasonably predict no further than dinner time. And we are pummeled daily with traumatic information. And as that happens, more and more of us shut down emotionally. We're not apathetic, we are overwhelmed. Our symptoms resemble those of combat fatigue. The most informed and compassionate among us are the most vulnerable to despair. We understand the brokenness and the sorrow in our own and faraway communities. We're also fully aware of all the things we cannot change. Staying focused on the light in the world is hard work. Of course, America isn't Eastern Ukraine, Afghanistan, or Yemen, but nonetheless, we are lonely, frightened people who have lost hope in the future. Any psychologist, she writes, knows that is a dangerous place to be. We risk losing our ability to think clearly or experience life completely. We lose our vitality and sense of direction. We cannot help others. We cannot fix anything. In times like these, we need world-class coping skills. She provides 3 immediate goals: stay fully awake, enjoy our lives, and be of service to others. Build inner resources and develop integrity. Be the person you want to live with every day of your life. Psychology teaches us that the best way to cope with suffering is to face it. We must feel it in our bodies, explore its meaning, and then muster our inner resources to move forward. We find ways to balance our despair with joy. We reach out to our friends and family. We find a way to help another person. Action is always an antidote to despair. Most of us cannot be great heroes. However, we all have the capacity to be ordinary heroes. We may not be able to stop the global use of plastics, but we can work with local environmental groups. We cannot eliminate prejudice or nuclear weapons. We can deliver Meals on Wheels, repair bikes for giveaway programs, work in our food pantry and our gardens. Only with heightened coping skills will we be able to rise above our shell shock and be who we want to be. Lao Tse, the founder of Taoism, wrote from 2,500 years ago, "If there is no peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart." And when there's trouble in our home, here in our spiritual home, there is trouble in our heart. America and Israel, represented by the flags at the front of the sanctuary, were both attacked and maligned at services last Friday night. We all suffered. Both countries are far from perfect. Each is struggling now to regain a moral compass. In light of the particular attacks last week on Pride Shabbat of Israel, it's important for me to highlight at services this week that in the past 2 weeks, these are 3 brief news alerts. 1, Israel has extended temporary asylum to LGBT Palestinians, where in their home country they are at risk for persecution and death, allowing them to live and work in Israel. 2, June 10th was the Tel Aviv Pride Parade. The following advertisement makes clear the pride the city feels in this parade. Tel Aviv Pride has become one of the biggest events of the year in Tel Aviv. Visitors from all over Israel and the world come out in full force to celebrate. The city lights up in color and energy, proving its reputation as the gay capital of the Middle East, and perhaps even one of the gay capitals of the world. And 3, Israel on Monday eased its regulations on abortion access in what the country's health minister said was a response to last week's sad U.S. Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade. The new rules approved by a parliamentary committee grant women access to abortion pills through the country's universal health system and remove a long-standing requirement that women appear physically before a special committee before they're permitted to terminate a pregnancy. Health Minister Nitzan Horowitz said the U.S. decision has turned back the clock for women's rights. A woman has a complete right over her body, he said. The SCOTUS decision to negate a woman's right to make a choice over her own body is a sad process of women's repression, setting the leader of the free and liberal world 100 years back. Though Israel faces huge challenges and significant failures, each of these breaking news reports reflects the profound Jewish values of respect for life, for living men and women, and of compassion for the other. In these rulings, decisions, and celebrations, Israel lives a Torah not of oppression and coercion, but of compassion and dignity. We live in a world where there's so much beauty, so much wonder, so much goodness, and so much violence, from gun violence to the unimaginable of coerced childbirth, to the deliberate diminution of human and civil rights. There is beauty and ugliness. There is fear and there is courage. We invite you to stand this evening, this Shabbat of July 4th weekend, as we reaffirm our hope in what is beautiful. America the Beautiful is found on page 95. We'll be singing the opening and the closing verses, and we invite you to stand.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of gray, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed God's grace on thee, and crown thy good with sisterhood and brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed God's grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood and sisterhood, from sea to shining sea.
I'm going to invite you to remain standing for Misha Berach. It feels that we should. To affirm healing and strength together. Turning to page 33, and if you wish, naming aloud those in your life in need of healing.
מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Please remain standing for Aleinu, page 36.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המון. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Everything rests on hope. Al כן נקווה.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
We are seated and with pleasure call forward Hank Ruda, representing our temple's officers and our synagogue's president.
Shabbat Shalom. It is such a pleasure to see all of you on this beautiful, warm, hot Shabbat as we start the celebration of our country's independence. It's so great to see so many young families and to celebrate with us. We're going to have lots of opportunities to do a lot of fun things over the summer. And the first one's coming up in a few weeks, on July 4th. We're going to Citi Field to see the minor league team that plays there. I think it's called the Metropolitans or something like that. There are still a few tickets left, although our new Vice President, Gary Orentlicker, just informed me that it is now a night game. So if you have tickets already, please note it is now a night game. And I think that a celebrity is going to be singing for the seventh inning stretch. Anybody we know, Cantor Danny? I think a celebrity sings, and if you've ever been at a Met game when Danny sings, let me tell you, he's a rock star.
Singing a great song called The Seventh Inning Stretch.
Yeah. Speaking of Cantor Danny singing, on August 9th, we are going to have the second summer of Summer Stage. This time, it's going to be at the small temple down the street. I think, Amanda, what's the name? I don't remember the name of it, but it's down the street. And it's going to be on Tu B'Av, the Israeli Valentine's Day. And so we are going to be blessed to have Cantor Amanda Kleinman leading us. And you're going to be there too, right? And Danny will be there too. Along with Amanda, are you up to 15 rabbis and 13 cantors at WRT? So I think they're all going to be singing along with most of their spouses. And Alex, I think you're leading an all-star band, so it should be an awesome night. If you were here for Dylan Stock last year, you know how great this is going to be, so make sure that you join us at WRT on August 9th. And Rabbi Shira is going to be leading another civil rights journey in November 11th to November 14th. Please do sign up. It is an experience, especially given what's going on. It is an experience you will not want to miss. Give you a quick update on Mikdash Ami, our rabbinic search. The senior rabbinic search process will be starting in the next few weeks, where we go into the placement process and submit our application. So we'll be updating you as the summer and the fall goes along. And you should have all gotten a nice fat envelope from Kol Ami this week in the mail. It's your membership mailing. Please do take a moment to fill out the application and send in your forms and to pay your dues. Our treasurer, David Seif, is here, and he would kill me if I didn't remind you to please pay your dues as quickly as possible. Jean and I just returned from 3 weeks away. We got to spend a week in Italy while working, but we got to spend 2 weeks in Israel. And we were part of the Union for Reform Judaism's leadership mission, and we had a lot of unbelievable experiences. And we learned from a variety of people, met with government officials, and it was an eye-opening, wonderful experience. But I want to recount one thing, and Rabbi Shira, I'm going to need you to participate. Most of you have heard how much I love biennial. We haven't had a biennial here in the U.S. in several years because of this COVID thing. The Israeli movement for Reform Progressive Judaism had their Ve'idah, their biennial, and we got to participate. So I got to go to biennial. It was great. 1,600 Reform Jews in a kibbutz north of Tel Aviv. An awesome experience. And one of the sessions that we got to go to was a speed dating with Iraq. Iraq is the Israeli Religious Action Center, and it was led until recently by Anat Hoffman. Shira, would you come here, please? And she has no idea what's happening. And Anat Hoffman, if you know anything about this woman, she is a force of nature. She leads the Women of the Wall. And the Women of the Wall on Rosh Chodesh every month go to the wall. They are not generally greeted as conquering heroes. They are not treated very nicely at all. But Anat perseveres. So in the speed dating, you got to sit in these different groups and hear what Iraq is doing. And so Anat was leading one of them to talk about the Women of the Wall. And when we sat down, I said to her, Anat, we've met before. I'm a member of Congregation Kol Ami, Rabbi Shira Milgram. Anat's face went something like, and I said, interestingly, that's what Shira's face looks like when your name comes up as well. Anat was talking about some of her experiences. Unfortunately, they are not always pleasant, and one of them was that they had an experience where some of the ultra-Orthodox were objecting to what they did, and prayer books were destroyed. Pages were ripped out. And Shira, Anat asked me to give to you this page from a Siddur that was torn when the Women of the Wall were there for Rosh Chodesh. Iraq was also there trying to do a... Shira, you're not done. Where are you going? Letting everybody know what they were doing. So Shira talked about gay pride. This was right after the Tel Aviv gay pride. And they were passing out magnets, love thy neighbor in Hebrew, and a couple other magnets. So we got these for you, Shira, so that you can participate with Iraq in their work in Israel. Shabbat Shalom. Have a very happy July 4th.
I will share. I have a few magnets here. I was wondering what working in Italy is. With open hearts, full hearts, we take a moment to remember those who died in recent days and at this time of year in years past. We invite you to stand at the name of a loved one and to remain standing, if you wish, until we're all standing with you. This Shabbat follows the recent deaths of Terry Tova Kurtz, Judith Tucker, Shirley Manicharian, Lila Blumenfeld, Kate Banoff Silverman. If you are in a year of loss and would like to stand, we would like to hold you within our embrace. This Shabbat marks the yortzites of Helen Ackerman, Frida Backrack, George David Barson, Irving Cole, Katya Orit Cooperstein, Harry Epstein, Sydney Diana Feinberg, Elsie Fish, Henry David Gutstein, Francis Greenebaum, Henry Greenebaum, Jean Griffin, Milton Harris, Samuel E. Haskell, Harriet Jaworski, Louis Kahn, Erwin Kaskowitz, Gerald Kravitz, Lucille Kaufman, Carol Lefkowitz, Zelig Levitan, Julius Oken, Anita Pereira, David Litt, Vivian Plancy, Gladys Rogalski, Jacob Silver, Rosalie Singer, Isaac Steinfeld, Leah Stogel, Morris Stotsky, Leon Sullivan, Lila Thames, Elliot West, Simi Wohl. Naming these aloud and naming others in our hearts, we stand together, turning to page 39 for reminders of the eternal presence through the words of the Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'isman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Li'olam Ula'almei Almaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh. V'yithadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei De Kudsha Barichu. Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata. Tushbachata V'nechamata. Da'amiran Bi'alma V'imru. Amen. Yehi Shalama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen.
Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen.
This is the first Shabbat in the month of July. If you have a July birthday, please come up and help us in leading the Kiddush. But first, come up. Wonderful. Yes, yes. First, a blessing. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotinu v'imotenu. God who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Bless all of those whose birthdays we celebrate in the coming month. And that may be some of you joining us by live stream. May they draw deeply from the wells of learning, growth, spirit, and joy. Bless them with health and strength, courage and compassion for the world and all who share the world together. For this moment we say, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. And if you're joining us by stream, please fill your glass.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון ינחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
L'chaim. Everyone needs a blessing. We are all blessed. We give blessings and receive blessings. I invite you to put your arms around the people near you, anyone you're comfortable embracing. God blesses us through one another. And I invite you to say after me, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and watch over you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May the light of God's grace shine on you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God be with you and bless you with peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Please join us outside for an oneg. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.